He was named an inspector and given his own division. With nearly 24 men under his command, he'd earned a reputation as a demanding but fair leader. From sun-up to sundown, and often late into the night, his career had consumed him. It was gritty, exhausting, and dangerous work. Work that often exposed the darkest, vilest underbelly of human existence. But it had given him purpose. It had given him the opportunity to stand up against the bullies and the bruisers. It had allowed him to protect the vulnerable and save the innocent. To rescue the boy he'd been. The boy no one had ever stood up for. The boy no one had ever cared about. The boy no one had ever loved. Some might have taken all of that pain and anguish and drank themselves to death with it. Kincaid had used it to fuel his grueling ambition to make London a better place, a safer place. A place where babies weren't abandoned by their parents and children weren't beaten by those charged to keep them safe. He hadn't always succeeded, and sometimes those bitter failures weighed heavier on his soul than the triumphs. But he had made a difference. He'd been making a difference. Then he met her, Lady Lavinia Townsend, the conniving bitch who had cost him everything. His position, his career, his good name. She'd taken all of it from him because she could, and laughed gleefully while she'd done it. But she'd also taught him a valuable lesson. Because of Lavinia, he knew what happened when the lines between his professional life and his personal life blurred. Because of Lavinia, he knew never to trust another woman with his heart. Because of Lavinia, he knew he couldn't help Miss Thorncroft. He wanted to. A single glimpse into those luminous blue eyes, and he was tempted to move heaven and earth to give her whatever she asked of him. But he couldn't. He wouldn't. Kincaid had learned in the hardest possible of ways to avoid temptation, and Joanna Thorncroft had temptation written across every inch of her damp, delectable little body. Sliding his spectacles back into place, he cleared his throat. "There are several investigators I could recommend. Good men all, and—" "I don't want them." Joanna stepped closer to him, her leather boots leaving small muddy footprints on the wooden floor. Her tantalizing perfume lingered in the air between them, causing his nostrils to flare. "I want you." Steeling himself against the urge to reach out and trace the sharp curve of her cheekbone, then bury his fingers in her hair, Kincaid shoved his hands behind his back and disguised his desire behind a clipped, businesslike tone. "As I said, Miss Thorncroft, I am not accepting new clients at this time." Her eyes flashed with annoyance. "Then you'll have to make an exception, Kincaid, because I have come a very long way. I am very tired, and I'm not leaving here unless you agree to help me." He'd missed the stubbornness in her chin before, but he saw it now, along with a tiny freckle in the middle of her collarbone. He wondered what it tasted like. He wondered what she tasted like. Scowling, Kincaid squeezed the back of his neck, where the corded muscles were as hard as granite. They weren't the only part of his anatomy that had gone hard. "Miss Thorncroft, I must insist—" "Kincaid," she interrupted smoothly. "I can see that you are reluctant to hear me out. I can understand. I am a stranger after all, and an American at that." A wry smile twisted those plump lips. "However, I am sure that after I've had the opportunity to tell you why I came here, you will agree that my case is of the utmost importance. Do you have an office?" "Yes, it's through there." He nodded at a door across the foyer that was partially ajar. Originally the room had been a parlour, but now housed an old desk cluttered with papers, shelves cluttered with books, and chairs cluttered with cats. There was also a bed shoved into the corner, and his jaw clenched taut when his mind conjured a vivid image of Joanna sprawled across the mattress while he peeled off her wet clothes, with his teeth. He ran a hand across his mouth. This would not do. This would not do at all. But before he could put his foot down and demand Joanna get the hell out, she flitted past him and into his office, leaving him staring after her in stunned, stormy silence. "Oh, you have a cat!" she exclaimed, pointing to the top of a bookshelf where a sleek black feline lounged on its side. "Two," he managed in a strangled voice.